Driving Code 3 during daytime hours can give some officers a false sense of security when they assume the public will naturally yield to the lights and siren of an approaching emergency vehicle. In reality, the flashing lights are hard to see and the siren is difficult to hear, especially during daylight hours. This program will demonstrate the effects of emergency lights and sirens on surrounding vehicular and pedestrian traffic. While driving Code 3, you must display a solid red light to the front and sound the siren when reasonably necessary. It is essential that officers always drive defensively. Driving Code 3 is becoming more hazardous due to the increasing number of vehicles on the road. Many officers, while rolling Code 3, often get frustrated when vehicles don't pull to the right. In actuality, the drivers probably aren't aware of the approaching emergency vehicle. Drivers are not always paying attention to approaching emergency vehicles. With windows rolled up, air conditioner on, a motorist listening to the radio or talking on a cell phone will have difficulty in hearing and seeing an approaching emergency vehicle. Officers may attract more attention even though the decibel rating is the same by changing the siren pitch from the wail to the yelp mode. Wig-wag headlights also assist in gaining a driver's attention. Drivers who finally see the emergency lights and hear the siren can take as long as 5 seconds to react. In these 5 seconds, drivers must first identify the sound as a siren, locate where it is coming from, determine if it applies to them, and then decide what to do. In some cases, a driver may not hear the siren sound or see the emergency until the patrol unit is directly behind them. They may not react until the emergency vehicle has passed. A pedestrian will hear an emergency vehicle's siren much sooner than a person inside a vehicle. Approaching an intersection creates a particularly hazardous situation for a patrol unit traveling Code 3. Traffic, weather, and buildings can have an adverse effect on whether the siren is heard or not. This is what drivers will see and hear from various positions at an intersection. This is what the driver on your left will see and hear. This is what the driver on your right will see and hear. And this is what the driver ahead will see and hear. At night, the emergency lights are more visible, but the glare from the headlights and other distractions may reduce an individual's ability to see them. As speed increases, the effectiveness of the siren decreases. When driving at high speeds, the approaching wind currents tend to muffle the sound, reducing the distance at which other vehicles will hear the siren. A patrol unit will have to get much closer before a driver will hear the siren. Officers should avoid using the freeway shoulder or emergency lane to pass other vehicles when other traffic lanes are available. Shoulders and emergency lanes are often narrow, uneven, and littered with debris, which poses a threat to the safe operation of the vehicle. Motorists are required to yield to an emergency vehicle approaching Code 3 by pulling their vehicles to the right. Therefore, you should pass on the left. Avoid passing on the right. In the event officers are unable to pass traffic on the left, they may pass on the right. However, they should deactivate their emergency equipment and slow to a safe speed when doing so. Officers must abide by the rules of the road while their emergency equipment is deactivated. Once they have passed the traffic, officers should reactivate their emergency equipment and proceed according to department policy. Although officers are exempt from the rules of the road while proceeding Code 3, it is essential to still drive safely. The sound of the siren, the flashing lights, and high-speed driving can get an officer's adrenaline pumping, which increases the heart rate and respiration. These influences may interfere with the thought process and impair judgment. For these reasons, officers may get too excited and drive faster, exceeding their limitations. Remember, the emergency lights and siren are a request for the right-of-way. They are not automatically granted. Drive defensively and carefully.